Welcome back, everybody, to We Are TPM with myself, Kyle Teixeira, sitting next to John Teixeira again. We are back this week to continue our series, Does It Cash Flow? To give you some great old numbers and show you the real way that the money turns out, the cash flow works in the real estate deals world. If you have any questions about this, have any deals you want to make sure yours cash flow, or have us analyze it just for fun, give us a call, 817-818-9039. Shoot us an email at showmethemoney@wearetpm.com. John, let's get into it.
We're going to start with me. Okay, I got a long-term rental. This one's actually for sale right now, too. So it's on Bannock Drive in Arlington.
Wait, I want to at least tell them what I'm going to tell them about, before you start going.
Okay.
So,
all right, let's go.
What do you have? Categorically, what do you have?
I have a long-term rental.
I like it. I have a short-term rental.
All right. So we've actually managed this one for several years. I want to say 10 years-ish. And so it changed hands. And I'm analyzing this deal from the moment it changed hands with the new owner to now, okay? Which might be unfair. So after we get through this, let's talk a little bit about what it would be like if you were the original owner. Okay.
Well, I don't think it's unfair. I think we're part of the series is emphasizing timeline and the timeline factor, and I think both of our deals today are going to show and emphasize how timeline can change things.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's also the value, the lesson I want to come out of this, right? I think is the point. And that's why I want to go back afterwards. After we look at this, we rate it. I'm anticipating the lowest rating we've seen so far from it.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. So, but I want to go back and look and say, hey, if this original owner didn't sell this, what would have happened for them, right? And what would happen going forward if this homeowner?
I have a feeling
keeps it?
I can project the answer.
You can project the answer
to our segment.
All right.
This one, but let's
one's
hear it.
Currently listed at $275.
Okay.
It was purchased in May of 23 for $260,000. So we don't really have any equity right now. That $15,000 in equity is really going to be taken up in closing costs, commissions, and so forth, right? Might even be negative when you take all that into account. Repairs over the last...
May of 18th of 2023? In my head, that's like the top of the... never mind.
Top of what?
It's top. It was a good part of the sales price over the last 2-3 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's only been 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Is that your point?
It was the top of something. I don't want to say top of the market because that's never a good thing to say. So you made me say it though.
Yeah, it was. It was at a time when things were going well, and if you purchased a home, you were going to purchase it at a premium compared to what it is right now, which is the reason why there's no equity 2 years later. So that'll change, obviously, as the cycles go through. Repairs over the last 23 months have been just shy of $4,600.
Okay.
And the rent received over the past 23 months is $42,665. Okay. So we got a monthly payment with taxes and insurance, actually, of $1,902. Let's call it just $1,902. And we're getting right now $1,855 in rent. So the negative cash flow every month is $248. That does not take into account management fees, right? That just takes into account the $4,500 in repairs and the difference between the rent and the monthly payment for mortgage, taxes, and insurance. All right? What else you want to know?
Well, taxes and everything went up around that time too. So
they did. Our total ROI is a negative 5688 right now. If you take
5688, so we got that's 5,600.
$5,688 is our total negative ROI if you take all our expenses and rents and everything into account.
Okay. And that included cost of acquisition and everything. So I guess the answer to your question, what's our question again? Does it cash flow?
Does it cash flow? Obviously not.
Obviously
this
not.
This one does not cash flow.
I thought it was so I don't have a obviously not. I just have yes or no.
This has got everything going for it negative. And I really was kind of, when I put together this analysis, I was like, oh man, do we want to present something this negative? And I was like, yes, we do. They're not all, there's a lesson to be learned here, and they're not all winners, right? And do you remember the episode we did called, you can do this wrong and still win?
Mm-hmm. Because it's all about timeline, right?
So a little bit. Some of it. A
lot of what we talked about, or it can be about timeline. A lot of what we talked about in that segment was, in the long run, real estate appreciates. Historically, has been proven to appreciate it over time.
And even if you don't do it the best way and make the most money out of it, you could still win, right? Because of that appreciation, mainly, right? Now, who benefited from appreciation here? The previous owner. Probably bought it for $140,000, $160,000, sold it for $260,000, made a bunch of money. He benefited and realized that
time to top
appreciation, right? This current owner who's trying to sell right now is about to realize all these losses if they do sell. Like all of these negatives that we just talked about, they will go away over time. If we reviewed this,
we get diluted over time.
Diluted and go away and become positive, right? Like, so depending on how long you own it, if this homeowner just hung on to it, then in 5-10 years, if we did this analysis again, we'd have a completely different picture, most likely.
Yeah, you might have a lower interest rate. You might have, I wouldn't bet on the taxes going down. I'd love to bet on the insurance going down, but I'm not going to do that. But, rents go up, and those repair costs were a lot of upfront things. So, but yeah, like you're talking about appreciation.
But $4,500 over the course of 23 months is not much. That's 5% of your rent. That's not too bad. It's 10% of your total rent, a little over 10%. So it's a little higher than you want it to be, but it's not that earth-shattering. Like the one we did last week that was actually really good had much higher percentage of repairs in it, the one on Highcrest.
Yeah, I mean.
And it still was a really good investment that cash flowed in all ways. So
the numbers matter.
All right, do we want to rate this?
You want to rate it?
No,
I want to rate it.
Yeah.
All right, access, 0 to 1. This is pretty much a 1 for access. I mean, this was a retail purchase of an investment property at market rate. For this owner, it wasn't. For this owner, it was an in-house deal that I presented from one owner to another owner. So it would have been and could have been a retail, to your point, but it wasn't. I'm going to rate it as if it was, because it would have been. It was at market rate, which made it more of a retail transfer. But access-wise, it wasn't very, very inaccessible. Experience. So what kind of experience do you need to do this? 0 to 2. I'm going to give this one a good old 1.75 because, you need a little bit of financing experience and stuff for that, but not much. Capital would have needed 20% down for a conventional deal of this size. So you're talking 50 purchase at 260. So 50
65 is the capital that they put down.
65 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you knew the end answer. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. No, that's not nothing. 0 to 2.
Yeah,
it's over 10%. Let's. You
can do an ROI on that negative ROI.
I'm going to give that as 0.75. It's not going to get a lot. Time horizon. You said this was 23 months.
Uh-huh.
How much time did it take to lose money?
Well, like most deals like this, they probably started losing money day one, and they have been for 23 months, to be honest with you, on this particular deal. But I don't think neither me nor the homeowner, when they bought it, was considering them selling it in 2 years.
Yeah. Which is kind of what makes this because it should be a longer time horizon, right? So we're going to go in the middle here with 1. We're just going to negate this because you're giving me a weird vibes on these numbers right now. Just weird vibes. Just kidding. So appreciation, 0-1. We're giving that a big old 0.
That's a 0.
Cash flow,
0.
Can we get the
No cash flow.
Passive or active? I mean, it did passively lose money. So we shouldn't laugh. I'm forgetting which passive. It was passive, right?
It was very passive. It was very passively losing money. Yes.
This isn't the worst ranking in the world. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5.5.
5.5. That we managed 5.5 out of this loser deal. How do you get down below 5?
It was very accessible. Didn't take a lot of experience. Somewhat negligible amount of capital. Not negligible, but
all right. All right, 5 it is. 5, let's go. I'm going to work on trying to get lower than 5 next time. I don't think we have very many of these in our portfolio, actually. I don't think we can do that, but
I mean,
might try.
If it was an active, if it was actively losing money, I mean, should we? Okay, no. All right, so we got a 5.5 there. Big old 5 smackaroonies.
Tell you what, I got 2 more from the same owner. Same timeline. You want those next week to see how they compare to this?
Possibly.
All right.
Send a comparison across the board.
All right, let's do it.
Shows you the importance of timeline, though, because in 5 years, these numbers could look a lot different. The appreciation could look a lot different. The purchase date of this would assume that you're speculating on a longer time horizon than 2 years, right? So all these things play a factor. So what I'm going to talk about is an interesting one. So this is a short-term rental. This is a vacation rental. We can actually call it that because it's in a destination area. This one, the time horizon we're looking at is similar. It's 20 months, January of 2023 to August of 2024. So during that time, this is a beachfront. A couple
of short ones today. Okay.
20 months. I mean,
yeah, about the same time frame. Okay, I like it. Let's go.
Okay, so a year and a half. Beachfront condo on the beach, right?
Yep.
That's what it means, right?
That's what beachfront condo means.
Give you your numbers. $159,568. So $160,000 in revenue over that timeline. Improvements, repairs, and upgrades came out to $7,500. Professional services, supplies, miscellaneous, another $3,800. HOA fees, $9,300. Cleaning was just under $20,000. Insurance $4,100. Property tax another $5,100, and utilities they're $3,000. So it came out to $52,000 in expenses on the $159 top line revenue. A net $106,838.
Wow, and this is 2 years. This is 24 months.
20 months. So if you take that out, that's $53.41 a month. $5,341 a month.
Wow, let's buy more of these.
Annualized $64,000 per year. Okay,
let's buy a whole bunch.
It is cash flowing, net 3. Cash flow of $64,000 a year.
Okay.
Now you may be asking,
salary,
huh?
It's a salary.
It is. You've said that about various amounts of numbers.
I mean, salaries vary.
They do vary. I think you've said that. Never mind. Okay. So you may notice I didn't list mortgage in those expense lines.
No,
so cost of entry. Here's we go. Acquisition. So this was purchased at $650,000 purchase price with a total cash out of pocket of $656,500. So that's 100% cash. So this was a 100% cash acquisition. So it was also, as we'll get into this and how the timeline all matters, this was purchased at a $200,000 discount. So the value at purchase was $850,000. So you are starting out with $200,000 in equity, right? So after the cash flow I just gave you and the $200,000 discount, you may be wondering, what the heck? How'd you get a cash flowing asset that makes that much $200,000 discount? Well, you should be asking why the timeline ended in August of 2024. So,
I know the answer to that.
Before we get into this, the cash on cash return on that number is to be determined because I'm going to tell you the rest of it.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. We got $106,000 over the 20 months. So what happened in August 2024? This was purchased at a $200,000 discount due to uncertainty is always where you get discounts in any market, right? So there was an impeding assessment with an impeding construction project. The price was unknown. The timeline was unknown. When those big amount of things for a investment property are unknown, you generally can get some discounts. So that's where this discount came in. So over the timeline of August 2024 to May, which is now, of 2025, this property was closed. So we extend this timeline to now, what is that? We were at 20 months, so we're at like 29 months. And we have a $141,000 assessment to negate out of that. So you had $106 in cash flow. You pay $141,000 in an assessment. Now you're looking at a $34,000 loss over 2.5 years. 29
Total.
months. Total.
What's 34 divided by 29?
I don't know.
It's just over. It's like $1,500. $1,500 a month. Okay.
Yeah. The cash flow per month. So, but
all of a sudden, this sounds like a crappy deal.
It does sound like a crappy deal, right? No, but then you have to remember, because you completely forgot. The second I mentioned $141,000 assessment, you forgot about the discount that you were given to purchase
the
this property.
$200,000. We got equity,
which was essentially. It was a risk taking, right? The seller and the buyer at the purchase amount did not know what this assessment would be, did not know what the timeline would be. So those things were unknown. So we're speeding it up to now to assess what is now known. Project ended May of 2025. Actually, a week before these numbers were ran. Project over. So as of that time, you've lost $34,000. You got a $200,000 discount. Assuming you still hold that value, which on checking these numbers, it does still hold the value that we are discussing. So add all that in, you now have a value of $850,000 still, and you've came out of pocket after spending an extra $34,000. You've now came out of pocket $690,000.
Okay.
Which tells us if we sold today for $850, we'd make $160. Which would be a 23% ROI, but over 2.6 years, the cash-on-cash return on that's 9.26.
So those numbers end up being pretty good when you take appreciation into account, despite a huge hit and a huge loss.
Yeah.
So if that huge hit and a huge loss didn't happen, man, this would be a winner.
Well, and the reason I did cash flow up to August 2024 is it was allowed to run as normal up to that point. So it was it was achieving a 9.76% cash-on-cash return up to that point. Now that you've been...
Not including the appreciation.
Not including the appreciation. That was just based on cash flow.
Right.
Up to that point. And then now if you were to exit today, you could still achieve... with the timeline added in, 2.5 years, a 9.26% cash-on-cash return. And, the idea is if you don't sell today, then you can just hold that equity and now over the next 2.5 years get at least a 9.6 cash-on-cash return.
It's a completely renovated building, back up and running, and we should be good for the next 60 years, right?
Yep, it looks that way based on what the numbers are telling everybody. So,
all right.
All right.
I'm still going to be here in 60 years, too, when we have to renovate again.
We could run these numbers again in I'm going to go with 2.5 years. I'm going to go with 29 months. You'll hear about this again, right? All right. Let's rank it. What do you think? Access.
So on access, 0 is the least access, 1 is the most. Is that what our thing is?
Yeah, and this was a... It's
going to be as close to 0 as we can get it.
Yeah, this was a word of mouth and then a huge discount based on things that are only known that's upcoming. That's really inaccessible. But
yeah, But
it was also a risk. So do we account for the fact that the access also made it more risky?
I literally would this might be the only time you put an actual 0.
We're giving it a 0.1. We're giving it a 0.1.
You can never give things 5 stars, can you? Just can't do it.
I mean, I can think of how it could have been less accessible.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it could have been less accessible.
I don't know. I don't know if it could have.
We'll give it a 0.01. Whatever. We'll give it a 0. Go ahead.
What's our next one?
Experience.
This definitely, you need very high experience level for this one. So very high. Probably for this one, you probably need the most amount of experience in order to confidently walk into this deal, get through the deal, and be where we are today. That's got to be a high number, right?
Or a low number.
Or a low number, however you're
Give it a 0.25. Boom.
Okay, got it.
Capital. That's going to be a low one.
Yeah.
0 to 2, the 650.
650
at the end of the assessment, it took 690 grand. Small, right?
No.
It was technically it was a 1.01% of cash value.
I'm still not understanding how 650 plus 141 equals 690. That math doesn't math. I missed something somewhere. How 650 plus 141 equals 690.
Equals 690 because you didn't have to come out of pocket the 141 because you generated $106,000 worth of revenue.
Got it. That's the number I didn't take into account. Okay, got it. All right, what's next? Capital.
So capital gets a big old. We're gonna give it another 0.25.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse. Yeah.
Timeline.
Could have been a $200,000 assessment, right?
This is another short timeline, so that should be given a low rank as well. I mean, I don't know what you gave the other one, but it should be similar to what you gave my long-term one. But
this one did technically make money. So, in order to make $160,000 off of $690,000, 2.5 years,
we were reaping profit very quickly from it. So, and it was somewhat set up, so it was, you know what, back up. Yeah, I forgot what this ranking was for. You're right. This should be a high one. This should be a high number, not a low number.
We're going to give a 175. 175 to this one. Appreciation gets a 1. It appreciated.
We started with appreciation. You
started with positive equity, and it appreciated from there. I mean.
Wow. What's the next one?
Cash flow, technical 0. Depending on timeline, This is, for the owner, this is 100% passive, so we're going to give that a 1. This gets a 4.25.
Ooh, it got worse.
Worse.
Okay, now let me ask you something.
Actually,
how about on the cash flow? Even on the cash flow, if we only went up to August and we said, okay, cash flow, and this cash flow is beautifully $5,400 a month, and you gave that a 1, that would still put you at 5.25. It was still worse than this deal that I thought was a complete loser.
You mean the number?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, okay, well, we rated this deal, and I guess this is a way we're exploring our own rating here, but we're also rating this deal based on, we want this to be an ending quality number for investors, right? So
based
while
on
this one we just reviewed ended up making money and is projected to, if you look at this, if this gets rated in 2 years after maybe adding in the refi we did on the previous deal, these numbers are going to be great. And then you got the capital that's really high and experience and all those things change. But there was a lot of risk in the entry of this, and there was a lot of risk in the performance of this. I mean, the revenue numbers outperformed the assessment risk and timeline risk extremely underperformed. I can tell you that when at the purchase of this, and that $200,000 discount was supposed to be to compensate for the risk, and it essentially just made up for the financial change. So, that's why this one gets a low rating, essentially. I mean, it was very inaccessible and very risky, and took a lot of experience to analyze said risk in order to do it. So those aren't the deals we're going to sit here and tell you to seek out, right?
All right, so it's a good investment.
Well, I mean, you got to look at the timeline, but yeah, it's a complex investment. It's definitely a complex deal. So, getting a low cash flow rating right now, but at the conclusion of this deal, I'd love to reanalyze it, because I think they will result in a high number for what we are analyzing, and hopefully a high number for the ROI as well.
Yeah, I think this owner's gonna win.
Big wins,
lots of wins, winning everywhere.
winning everywhere. So we like the cash on cash. So if you guys want some returns, you want some does it cash flow analysis from us, from We Are TPM, we're happy to do so. Happy to help increase your cash flow potentially as well. So give us a call if you want any of those things at 817-818-9039. Shoot us an email at showmethemoney@wearetpm.com, and we are out.